Welcome to iHandy.com. In this video, Ashley will show you how to build a Cyclorama photo studio in your house. Measurements will depend on available space, but this is how we built ours. Begin by cutting the base to support the floor. We chopped 6x6 studs to a length of 24 inches. Measure out 1 by 1 foot squares onto 3/4 inch plywood. Cut the squares using a circular saw. Drill a 2-inch screw through the plywood squares into the bottom of the studs. We placed each stand 2 feet apart from one another. Lay 2x4s over the base stands, drilling 2-inch screws into the top of each stud. Next, secure each row perpendicularly to the top 2x4s. Using 2-inch screws, secure 3/4 inch plywood across the top of your stands. We space studs to a non-standard 2 feet for our walls. Hammer in 2 2-inch nails through both the top and bottom of the wall into each stud. Raise the walls, securing with 2-inch screws between each stud to the floor. As done with the floor, screw 3/4 inch plywood to the wall studs. Using furring strips, measure 1 foot and cut using either a circular or chop saw. Screw 2 furring strips in an L shape against the wall, roughly 2 feet apart from neighboring sets. We used a 2-foot radius for our curve. To get this, measure 2 feet out from the corner of a plywood panel. Using a nail, secure a piece of string here. Tie the other end to a pencil and draw your curve starting from the corner you measured from. Use a jigsaw to cut along the penciled curve. Once all curves are cut, evenly clamp the pieces together and sand until they match one another. Screw each piece into the sides of the furring strips using 1.5 inch screws. Cut and attach 2-foot 2x4s between each curved piece, following the curve shape. Do the same on the vertical area where the walls meet. Attach the furring strips so they point to one focal point. It should look like this. Attach the curve guides the same way as you did on the other sections. A simple way to cut the correct sized panels for the corner is to lay a roll of shipping paper over the area you are cutting. Use thumbtacks to secure in place. Trace and cut with a razor. Attach the trimmed paper onto 1/8 inch masonite with tape. Trace with a pen or pencil. Cut this traced line with a jigsaw. Lay the panel in place. We used 3 panels for our corner. Next, attach a long furring strip to the floor. This will be a guide to lay your masonite against for the bottom of the curve while securing. Using countersink screws, attach 1/8 inch masonite as the top layer. Sink screws just a hair below the surface. Use light drywall compound to fill in all cracks and counter sunken screws. You can also apply drywall tape first if you'd like to prevent cracking. Sand down the dried compound to make the surface as smooth as possible. You may have to reapply and sand 2 or 3 times for the right look. Apply primer and paint for the final look. When painting, use a matte finish so you avoid reflections of light in your shots. The final product should look like this. Ours is 122 square feet standing 14 feet high. Total cost was $1,250. Enjoy your new photo studio.